right.
All right.
Shall we do this?
We shall.
The first podcast of the new year.
Yes, indeed.
There's one.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And number 2.
All right.
Well,
to the first podcast of the year.
all right.
All right.
I'll drink to that. All right.
Right.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet again another Drunken Parents podcast. This is a show where we sit down, have a couple drinks, and discuss things. What kind of things?
Parenting.
Anything.
But anything, really.
Yeah, anything. Parenting. You know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, to start off today's show, do you have anything that you want to say? You want to kick us off here? You're kind of the DJ here. You kind of take over.
Take the reins.
Take over the reins of this show.
Well, how was your week? How was your first week of 2018?
Yeah, it was okay.
Just okay?
To be honest. Yeah, just to be like 100% honest, just a little bit hard to get in the routine, get into the things, like the things that I want to do for the year. Just when I work from home. Well, obviously you know that, but you listening, you might not know that. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's a little bit harder to get in the routine when you're at home because you don't have that getting dressed in the morning and, going in the car or whatever, hopping on the bus, getting into work, going to the office, got to be at least somewhat properly groomed or what have you. And when I'm working from home, it's like I don't have that. And I don't know, it's just sometimes hard. After a vacation or like not a vacation, but just time off, even a couple of days, it's so hard for me to get back in the swing of things. I don't know what it is. I think it's part of my personality and what I'm like and why I have so much trouble with certain things. When I get rolling on something, it's like I can't be stopped. Yeah. But then it's like when I am stopped, I can't be started either.
Yeah,
so
it's hard.
It's really frustrating.
But I don't think that's unique to people. Like even
like to me?
Yeah.
Oh, no, of course not.
Like for us this week too, like getting back in the routine has been like painful. This morning, like I was like every morning I want to get up and get my workout in at the beginning of the day. And it's like I got today in. And that was only because I knew I had to get it in today. Otherwise it wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. No, I know that. Yeah, I know.
It's rough because then we had a really good break. Like it was really relaxing.
Yeah.
And I slept in every single morning, which is, I've never done that before.
Yeah. And it's funny though, for me, it's like, I don't even want to do that. Like I want to be set. Like I love schedules.
Yeah.
I want to wake up at my certain time. I want to go to bed at a certain time. And I want every day to be the same, at least in terms of the work that I have to do. Yeah. And then like once the work is done, then you can play around and have some fun or whatever. But there's certain things that I always would like to do during the day. And I like to keep it consistent. And when it's not consistent, I get very, not angry, I guess, but I get very thrown off because I just want to do it, right? Especially when I have to rely on other people that have to be incorporated into my day.
Yeah, for
and when I can't do the thing that I want to do because someone else is holding me back or whatever, not holding me back, but
just
they're not ready to do it at that time, then it's like, well, what am I going to do now? Because because some things build on other things. So that, I don't know.
For sure.
That's frustrating. But anyways, I don't know. This first week was a little bit slow going, but this week it's going to start to pick up again because it was doing pretty good the past couple of days. Which brings me to one thing that I wanted to discuss with you real quick here before we get started. Yeah. If that's okay with you.
Of course.
Miss Host of the show. You're kind of the host now because you're the one that kind of thinks up of the ideas and things that we talk about. So you do all the brainstorming and I kind of come in just to record a thing and just someone to talk to, I guess, for you.
Yeah.
What was my train of thought?
I don't know. You were going to say something.
But yeah, you're taking over the reins. But anyways, so you should start doing the introductions and stuff like that, or maybe because I don't do it very well. Anyways, I just like choke on when I drink and.
No, but that's the whole point.
Well, I don't know. Anyways. It's not funny. Anyways,
we can talk about it later. But
well, yeah. Anyways, so before I hand it over to you, there's one thing that I would like to do. Maybe we can make it a segment. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Whatever. It's just a thing. We'll just let things go.
Yeah.
As it happens, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't like to, have such a set routine, whatever.
Yeah, anyways.
So what I wanted to do, what I thought was pretty neat is I like goals and setting goals, but not so much broad long-term goals. Like there's things I want to do in my life. Like if you'd say like a bucket list or like grand things to do before I die. So I have that. But like in terms of goals, I think for me anyways, I'm much more suited to set short-term goals as opposed to like medium-term goals, because I do have certain goals that I want to attain. You know, I want to weigh this much and I have this much muscle mass and I want to be this good at specific martial art, or I want to read 30 books by the end of the year, whatever. Right. Yeah. So, but sometimes when you look at that, it's not overwhelming, but it can be overwhelming because it's like, oh, well, how am I even going to get started on this? This is crazy. Yeah. So I want to try this thing where I can be hyper focused, maybe try this for a couple of weeks and say to you, and we could just say like, these are my 1 or 2 goals for the week, and this is what I want to accomplish. Yeah. And then we could just sit down and just talk about it, see whether we accomplished that goal or not.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think that's a great idea.
Something to do.
Yeah. So then what's your goal for this week?
So I have a couple goals. Very, very simple goals. Okay. So the first one, of course, has to do with my health and my weight, because obviously since August, I think it was, or whenever I blew up my back, has been really bad for me. And I'm still kind of recovering from all those after effects or whatever. Yep. But so anyways, I've gained a lot of weight that I've lost earlier in the year. And so it's time to start losing that back again. So in terms of a short-term goal, just next week, just to lose 1 kilogram of body weight. Hopefully fat, goal. But whatever, 1 kilogram. So it's about 2.2 pounds. So simple, super easy. Yep. That's a goal. And then
it's a good goal.
Check back with me next week.
And we'll see, so I'm going to just grab a pen and then I'll write it down.
Sure. I mean, I remember it.
Well, I won't.
Okay, go ahead. Grab a pen, a little trusty pen here. I'll pour us a drink while you do that. And then another goal, again, this is very simple. So I should be, I can't reach. There you go. I should be able to achieve this one. And that is to just buy a book and start reading. And get maybe like a third or halfway through. So one of the things that I've always wanted to do is to just read more.
Like what kind of book? Like nonfiction?
Any kind of book, just like any kind of book, really. Just not like a graphic novel or something like that, but so something to at least test my brain a little bit, or maybe some Dean Koontz, whatever.
Dean Koontz.
But no, because I don't oftentimes I want to stop this habit of just taking my phone or whatever and just using that to kill the time, whether I'm taking a dump or going before bed or whatever, right? It's a waste of time. So at least I want to fill that in with actually reading and learning and challenging myself, I guess, in that regard. So those are my 2 goals.
Those are really good goals.
I have other business goals and stuff, but that's work, so it's not really part of this, but this is more personal stuff. So those are 2 things that I want to do
really good goals.
This coming week.
Yeah. That's awesome.
What about you?
I don't know. You kind of caught me a little off guard because I set my goals each week. That's what I always do.
Yeah, but you don't have, this could just be me. No.
But usually because on Sundays is my kind of planning day, and I sit down on Sundays and I plan out my week, and that's when I really set my goals. But I think, I really want to.
Don't worry about it then.
No.
No.
I want something down. I'll put something down.
Write something in your fancy notepad.
Yeah, I don't know about.
So I gave you an out, and you're like, I won't say. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you know what?
Oh, so now you are taking. You can't take it now.
Put a pin in it.
You already said that you were going to answer. So what are your goals for this week?
I don't know. Get my workouts in. Try to get my workouts in the mornings.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not so much of a goal as just things to do. But yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. Like I said, for me, I have much more things to work on than you, obviously, because you're just Mr.
Oh, you're talking about okay. Well, no, but I still have goals. Yoga, doing yoga at least once a week.
There's a good thing.
That's a goal.
What about something specific, like within yoga? Like I want to.
Something
like I want to be able to hold.
Well, I can't do that in a week.
Well, no, but if it's
I'm just saying,
but it's like if you could do 10 seconds of a frog stand, be like, oh, I want to hold 15 seconds this week, or, you know, just incremental progresses.
Yeah, okay,
Anyways, that's just how I think of things. But that, again,
so
that's me. But
like 30 seconds of crow
I don't
pose.
know. I don't know what you can do, right? Like,
Well,
if that's like,
I've never timed it, so I'll get you to time it this week because I want to work. I want to work on my crow
like if you're
pose.
at like 10, moving up to 30 in a week is probably unrealistic.
I could probably do 30. So, but we'll see.
Okay, well, we'll time.
Anyways, we'll time it. We'll see.
We'll go for next.
Yeah.
Anyways, there's like incremental progresses in.
Yeah, of course.
Your activities, and I know for me, it's going to be like, okay, well, I could do 5 pull-ups.
Well, I was just going to say pull-ups,
6
pull-ups,
or whatever, right?
I was just going to say pull-ups because that's on my list this year too.
Yeah.
So
well, for you to get to 1, we're going to need a little bit of extra work.
Yeah, well, I can do them. I can do like 5 assisted. I was doing them this week. I can
assisted
do
pull-ups.
Assisted pull-ups. Yeah.
Okay.
So if I could maybe get to
10. Try to go to 10 assisted.
10 this week?
No. I just mean, sorry, before you get to even doing 1.
Oh yeah, of course.
Get to 10
okay, so
assisted.
let's say I'll do 6.
Just
6 assisted pull-ups.
This is totally
this
aside,
week.
but for pull-ups, what I hear is instead of doing assisted ones, do just negative ones.
Well, that's what I'm kind of doing.
Okay, well, I don't know. You said assisted, so I think a band or.
Well, I have the band, but I jump up and then I have the band to help. Yeah.
Why don't you just go on a trampoline? Look at me.
Look at me.
It's like those guys that do CrossFit and they're just like on the bar going whew, 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 and they just use the momentum
kipping.
Oh my goodness. You just look like such an
hurt yourself.
You just look like such an idiot. I'm like, those aren't pull-ups. What are you doing? Like, it's not a pull-up. Like, it's anyways, are we starting this CrossFit debate now? This has nothing to do with
let's not.
Anyways, it has good ideas, but then it's gotten so far off of its core philosophies. Now it's just how many of this can you do in this amount of time? And it's like they just do terrible, terrible things. Anyways, in terms of form and technique when they're doing their exercises or movements, I guess you can say.
All right. Well, we'll check back next week with our goals. I have them written down. So they're there. We'll check back. We didn't do the not a sponsor.
Oh, who's not sponsoring us today?
So I should have asked you this before we started, but what kind of phone did I have? Samsung?
No, Motorola.
So Motorola is going to be our not a sponsor today.
They're not sponsoring us today.
And because I really would like if they could, because if they did sponsor us, then I would be able to maybe get a new phone.
Yeah.
Because my phone died on me this week.
It died from abuse.
Well,
physical abuse.
It fell. Shit happens. It fell. That's the first time my phone has ever fallen.
You're such a liar.
No.
You've
It's
dropped your phone so many times.
No, not very often. That was the first time
Not very often, so it's more than 1.
It's maybe 3. Literally maybe 3 times. But that time I was downstairs working out and there's a big rock in our basement.
Not a good idea.
Our basement is half of a rock because we live in Sudbury and there's rocks, and it dropped right on the motherfucking rock. And so shattered.
Well, obviously.
But it was still usable. I've been using it it's been like that since March.
Yeah.
So almost a year.
Yeah, I'm not buying you a new phone.
Almost a year. And so we were out sliding this week and it's been cold as
Oh, you were sliding with it in
fuck here. No, I wasn't sliding. No. I was out with the kids and I had my little backpack on that I have. And it was out in the cold.
It's not the cold that did it though. Because if that was a thing, then you come back in from the cold, then it should be fine. Like, it's not going to work in the cold, but then you heat it. So there's something else that happened. Obviously. It's broken.
Yeah. So bottom line, if Motorola was our sponsor.
But they're not going to sponsor us because you just break their shit. Why would they sponsor?
Well, maybe if they got me a nice case to go along with it.
Yeah, I hate cell phone cases, by the way.
Well, you have one on yours.
I do, because you're talking about breaking phones. How many phones have I broken?
Exactly. Way more than me.
Well, exactly. I'm not saying I'm good at keeping phones not broken.
But you're giving me a hard time about it when you...
No, just because you're lying about how many times you drop it. You drop it all the time.
So, no, I don't.
Or you go to pick up a book and your phone flies off. It's happened so many times.
Anyways. Well, we won't talk about the tablet that you stepped on and broke.
Yeah, that was like 2 weeks ago. Anyways. It happens. Mm-hmm. Why was the tablet there?
So because it was charging. It was plugged in and charging.
Yeah, well, I stepped on it. What are you going to do?
Okay.
It's broken.
Okay.
Well, the glass is shattered. Oh,
Anyways.
Man, yeah. But yeah, I've gone through quite a bit of phones. But the thing is, so the phone that I got, which was a Galaxy 7 Edge, just beautiful looking phone. Gorgeous with the edge, it's got the curved edges. And then it's like you spend this money Well, not a lot of money because it's just like a shitty case. You just spend like $20. Well, you spend like the phone's like $800 phone, and then you put this shitty, ugly looking case to like overlap it, and then it overlaps the edge, so it doesn't even you don't even have the feature because it's all to protect that thing because it's a phone. You need to use it like a phone. So I hate them. Like there's no case that's a good case because they all look ugly because the phones themselves just look fantastic. But then I'm like, it's an $800 phone. I'm not putting it in the case, given my track record of dropping phones in the toilet, stepping on them, throwing them on concrete floors. Like it happens with me. It's just what happens.
Apparently how you are.
It's just how it is with phones.
Anyways.
But yeah. But now my phone is going to be your phone because no one calls me anyways.
That's true.
So
that's true.
You can just have it. I just won't have a phone.
Well, you're going to get a flip phone.
I am.
Anyways.
Old school, getting this thing delivered from Hong Kong. I'll be here in 1 to 3 months.
Sweet.
Getting an old school Motorola Razr flip phone, which was actually my first phone that I had back in 2006.
I remember.
Which I loved. And I don't know why I gave it away. Well, I do know why, because I got like this smartphone. But then I'm like, why did I do it? It was so good. And it's great. A phone for making phone calls. That's it. That's all I need. And all I want. And then if I break it, it's not $800 down the drain. It's $23.50 plus shipping and 2 months of wait time.
All right. So
moving on. Are we finally going to go to the topic of the day?
The topic of the day? Yeah.
What is the topic of the day?
So I thought the topic of the day could be self-care, because I've seen it's
self-care. Not that self-care.
Not that self-care.
Not the self.
Well, if that's what you want, then that's fine.
The self-pleasure care.
Well, that's not exactly what I'm talking about, but I mean, it could be. It could be.
I don't know.
But
no, self-care as like you're just a parent and you gotta make time for yourself.
Take your time for yourself. Yeah. So that's the one thing I've really noticed on like Instagram, Tweet Face. Since it's the new year, people making resolutions and goals and all this stuff.
We already talked about goal stuff.
Yeah. But one of the things is definitely people taking, like, as moms and especially homeschool moms, like taking more time for yourself, and because you're with your kids all the time.
Yep.
And so you really need to make an effort to take time for yourself. So I thought we could talk a bit about that today.
Sure.
So I'll start with an anecdote. So usually I think I'm pretty good at taking time for myself because, and you're really good about like making sure I have time for myself.
Yeah.
Like you're really good about it. You've always been good about it.
I do think there's a problem with not taking the time when it's there. And then, why? Okay, all right. Let's sidetrack this already. Yeah. Why is it that sometimes when we're fighting because of the fact that I'm trying to get you to take time for yourself and you don't, and then it ends up into like a fight? Because what's up with that?
Yeah.
What's up with that? We're talking about self-care. It's like, I'm like, hey, Andrea, why don't you? I'm like, here, take my card and go down to the mall, and you're like, I don't want to. It's like, oh my God, what is wrong with you?
Okay, well, that's
example, right?
But, that's a bad example. Because there's reason. Because there's sometimes where I'm just like, I don't feel like leaving the house today. I just want to stay in my comfy clothes.
It's also not like that. Yeah, but you know what I mean, right?
But sometimes I think it's like, I definitely, and every mom will agree with this, it's you have mommy guilt. You're like, no, I need to be with them all the time.
This is insane.
I know.
This is insane.
I know. I agree
what is this
with
mommy
you.
guilt? Oh, this is just like a made up thing because of females, because it's not like
it's not a made up
dads
thing.
Don't get together. We have daddy guilt. It's like you're a parent, you have kids. Yeah, you want to be with your kids, but you also need time to do your own stuff, and you like doing your own stuff. And you had a life before you had kids.
I know.
And you should still have a life while you have kids, and you'll have a life after your kids move on.
Yeah.
So don't forget that. And take the time for yourself. And when you have a loving, amazing, supportive husband that will make you or let you get this time to yourself every single day,
I know.
Then you should capitalize on that.
Well, and I do now. Like, I've become a lot better. As the kids have gotten older, I've become a lot better. I have. Give me that. Give me that.
I'll give you a little bit of that.
I've gotten a lot better because I make sure, like, before I wouldn't do my workouts because I'd be like, oh, I gotta be with the kids.
Well, that's stupid. Especially when it's about just working out.
Or your health. Yeah, no, for sure. But and I think that's the thing too, is you have to grow into your motherhood.
This brings it back to my thinking and my philosophy on life and on parenting, is that you don't even want to be with your kids 24/7 in a sense, because you want your kids to be independent. And when you're constantly with the kids, and then when you realize, oh, your kids are 13 years old and they don't even know how to make a peanut butter and jam sandwich. Oh my God, what the hell happened? And then it's like, can you fix it? It's kind of too late to fix it. I don't know. Like,
of course.
So you got to let your kids be their own people too.
Yeah, of course. So, of course. And that's what I'm saying. And that's why
it's like a win-win for everybody.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is like, as they've gotten older, it's gotten easier for me, because before too, it's just like back.
It's different when you're talking about when they're 6 months old. It's a bit of a different story.
That's
Well, that's a bit of a different story. Even then, they're sleeping all the time.
Well, yeah. But anyways.
They do. Come on. Babies do. They sleep like,
yeah.
What, 12 hours a day? Like, I know it's all in spurts, right? It's all like an hour. No, but it's like they eat, they sleep,
they're awake,
shit, and then they cry, and then they eat, sleep, shit, cry, whatever it is, right? Like eat and sleep and shit, right?
Yeah.
That's it. That's all they do for the first year.
It's true.
That's it. Then they start to kind of walk.
And you're like, oh God. You're kind of a person now.
Yeah, now they're like a person. They're like, feed me. And they start talking back. It's like, oh.
Anyways, so.
But looking back, like, you know, like we were told with one of our professors, it's like little people, little problems. It's like,
oh God, I would.
Like, yeah, the baby stuff sucks because of the crying and constant. But if you get your stuff together while, you know, they're crying.
Oh yeah.
You care for them. They're sleeping. Maybe you can sleep a little bit too or whatever. Because I did that too.
I would go back to the baby phase, and I'm pretty.
It's not happening. We're not having another baby. So calm down.
Well, it can't happen. But anyways. No, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, it's true. Little people, little problems. Like the stuff that you deal with when they're older, it's a different story. But anyways,
but yeah, we're talking about
the whole self-care thing. But I think, like, for me, like, usually I'm pretty good because you're really good at making sure I go, and I've become like more proactive and like, okay, well, I just need to go and do my own thing, and I get, because what's most important to me is to get my workouts in. And I consider that my me time, is to get my workouts in, because that's about my...
You better work out. You better look good for me.
But that's like, it's like physical and mental health for me to get those workouts in. And, but during Christmas, like this Christmas, it was like kind of a revelation, because I sat on the couch. I think it was like Christmas Eve or the day before Christmas Eve. I sat on the couch for like 2 hours and just read. Yeah. And it was just like a fiction book. That's
like, oh, look at these. Everyone else could just do their own thing.
It wasn't about homeschool. It wasn't about parenting. It wasn't about autism. It was just like a complete fiction book. I just got lost in it for 2 hours, and I was like, I haven't done this in years, and
this is fantastic.
It's something I need. It's something I need. Like, so self-care is not just about like taking care of like your physical body. It's like taking care of, just like take a mental break, right?
Of course, it's like anything. You can't just even if it's something that you love doing, you can't work at something 16 hours a day and sleep and get back to it all the time and not have any mental blocks or barriers, right?
You need a break.
You just have to, sometimes when you're taking a break is when you come up with the best ideas too for whatever that is.
And then I came back so refreshed, and I feel like more patient with the kids and everything, right?
You and I are in a different situation from most parents too, though, because you're home homeschooling the kids and I'm home working from home, able to step in at a blink of an eye, because I'm literally right there. On that computer. We have
it very lucky. We do.
Well, we designed
it that way.
So it's not like it's not lucky, it's like but we've actually worked really hard to get to where we are. So
that's true.
Calm down on that right there.
That's true. No, you're right. And we made sacrifices as well. So it's not luck.
Because I mean, look at our background. It's like this isn't the Playboy Mansion by any stretch of the imagination, except for you, obviously.
Oh,
you're my playmate of the year.
I love you. Of every year.
No, 1 year. You could be 1 year. There's other girls for other years. I'm sorry. That sounded really bad.
It did. It really did.
I don't even know what that means. Anyways, we'll just pretend that was never said. But yeah, no, like I don't know how other families or other parents deal with this kind of thing, because I know from the people that we know and the people that we've talked to, a lot of the times the husbands are just, it's almost like they purposely avoid being home, and they're just like, well, I just work from like 12 hours, and they don't come home till like they leave right after breakfast and come home like right after supper, and they're just there for like bedtime, tuck in maybe. And it's like, well, then how is...
Well, I don't think it's always on purpose. That's just the nature of jobs too, right? Sometimes jobs are just like that. So let's be really careful about...
Okay, I'm not saying any names or anything. I'm not saying nothing about anybody. I'm just... This is not even people that we know. This is just in general. You hear this all the time.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
like this is... Like, relax here. We know like a lot of people, so it's not like someone listening that we know is going to be like, hey, you're talking about me. It's like, no, relax, calm down, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about you, but you know who you are. No, I'm just but like, you know, like,
no,
or the husband will be working or will stay away or whatever, and then just because maybe they want to deal with the kids or they don't like the parenting kind of thing or whatever it is, and that also causes a strain on the marriage too. So that's a big thing.
The thing too, I think the thing that I've really realized over the years of, I mean, I was completely stay-at-home mom for a long point and watched
for a long time,
and then I saw how hard you worked, you know, going to work, coming home every day. And then for a little bit there, I worked not quite full time out of the home, but it was like half time out of the home. And then
when you were at that place,
yeah. So I worked a little bit there, and then now seeing you work at home, I have a completely different perspective on it, because work is not a break. And I think at the beginning, that's kind of how I felt.
That's true. I knew you felt it, and that was really unfair. But it's very unfair.
It is. But I mean, like having an infant. And sometimes I'd be like, oh my God, I wish I could just leave this.
Yeah, but you know what though? This is the same thing, because it's the same thing that I would say.
Exactly.
And be like, I wish I could just leave my work. And
the grass is always greener, right?
And we've had those discussions plenty of times where I'd say, listen, you want to go out there, you want to get a job, and I'll stay home with the kids?
No, I never.
And I'm like, well, I'll do it then.
No, I never. But the point is like you complain about your job.
Well, I don't.
Well, but sometimes you did. And so,
well, it depends on which job are you talking about,
but it's okay. But then it's okay for me to complain about my job, because some of my days were really fucking hard, right? And that's life, right? So,
but it's how you deal with it. The thing too that's different with staying at home. It's like you're your own boss and you can control your own circumstances. Whereas when you're working for somebody else, if your boss is giving you a hard time or your boss is like being a bully or whatever, what can you do about that? That's really
but if
that's just what I'm saying.
That's fair enough. But you could quit that job if you wanted to. If you have a kid like we had with autism, that was...
Oh, you wanted me to just quit a job?
No. What are you saying? Just wait and listen.
You're just saying I quit.
I'm just saying, if someone's being a douchebag to you at work, if you wanted to, you could quit that job. In my job, I had a kid that was that was melting down all the time. I can't quit that.
She wasn't melting down all the time.
I can't quit that.
Well, do you want to?
Of course not.
Okay, so why would you say that's not even an argument?
But what I'm saying is you're saying, well, you can control it, and I'm saying,
well, you can. It's your environment. You can control how you react, and you can control how you're going to respond to certain situations, and you can at least control your environment, because you are the boss. You're the boss.
But I can't control.
Of course, you can't control that person's behavior, whatever. But you can control the environment, and at least you put yourself in an environment that you feel the most comfortable in. Whereas if you're working at it,
sure.
I'm just saying, my whole point is, and I think you'll agree with me on this, is that if you had a choice between staying home and raising kids for like 10 years or whatever it is versus just working at a job that you kind of don't even really like for 10 years, which one is it?
No, of course. So, yeah, of course.
So that's my comparison. Yeah. So I'm saying at home, yeah, there's hard days, whatever, but your home. It's your kids. It's your family.
Yep.
You can
Of course.
try to shape
Of
it the way that you
course.
want it to.
Of course.
But when you're working, it's like, well, you got a boss. He's breathing down your neck constantly, or she, whatever.
Of course.
There's nothing you can do about it except be miserable about it.
But I'm sorry. So like getting back
Anyways,
to
I don't even know what the point is.
But like getting back to my point is like having gone back to work like a little bit there for like, it was like a year and a half. I went back to work.
Was that much?
It was that much. Yeah. It was almost 2 years. Yeah.
I didn't want you to work that long. It was ridiculous.
But having that perspective, it really did understand that it's like you need your time out as much as I did, right? Like, so it really gave me a perspective change,
Yeah, for sure.
right?
Well,
so
here's an example, I guess, of someone, one parent staying home and one person going to work. The parent stays home. You know, they both wake up. They both help around with breakfast and help around whatever. The one parent goes to work. The other parent stays with the kids and does the kids thing. The other parent comes home from work. And then that parent immediately takes over for the other parent to watch the kids. And then that parent has their alone time or whatever. And then say they have 2 hours of alone time, whatever. And then they come back, maybe they put the kids to bed, and then it's boom. So right off the bat, the parent that's at home with the kids has that time of do whatever you want time, as opposed to the one that went to work doesn't, but they have a lunch break and whatever. So yeah. Anyways, I'm not saying it's that bad, right?
No,
it
it's not.
does depend on the job you have to. But some people
don't take a lunch break. And
no, they just hate their job.
Well, yeah. But then I guess like sure, and I get exactly.
But it's all about.
But I get exactly what you're saying.
Two parents communicating and figuring out what works for them.
But then the other thing is like that the parent that stays at home doesn't get a lunch break or even breaks at all. So it's like when the parent comes home that's working, it's like, okay, give me an hour just to, do something on my own, which is fine. And then don't you want to spend time with your kids as well?
I'm not saying that.
Do you know what I mean?
That
so
too,
that's
right?
kind of
like
the other
when
thing.
You're burnt out.
Well, yeah,
from work,
of course.
And then you come home and like you said, the kids are screaming.
Well, no, of course.
And that's the other thing too, is you make it sound as if like every day at home with the kids is
like
terrible.
Oh my God, no, not at all.
It's probably most of the days it's awesome. It's like, that's why I said like, I would love to stay home and raise the kids.
No, of
love
course,
to do it.
Of course.
Yeah, you're going to have bad days. Everyone's going to have bad days.
Well, yeah, no. And that's, but I guess the point is my point is you hear so much about women and moms saying, I need to take time for myself, I need to care about myself and blah, 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 and all this stuff. But you don't hear it for dads. And I think it's equally as important. Dads need it too, regardless if they're stay-at-home dads. And I know a couple stay-at-home dads, but dads at work, it's just as applicable. It's applicable for everybody. You just need to take care of yourself.
Yeah, it can. Yeah. I don't want to get into too much of
the equality and feminist thing. No, and that's fine.
Yeah, it's not.
Sorry, I'm putting words in your mouth, but I just know what you're going to say. You know what I want to say,
and this is what I'm thinking about. It's like I don't.
But I just really think that dads a lot of the time are left out of the conversation about taking care of themselves, and I think it's just as important because
a lot of the time males are getting shoved out of the conversation now because we're males.
Well, I know,
and that's just how it is these days.
And I don't know. I think
stupid.
It is stupid. People are people.
I don't care what gender you are. Should I say what gender and what sex you are, since they're different now? Whatever.
Gender, sex, race, religion.
Yeah. Well, religion, I haven't a problem with that. But let's just say gender, sex, and what you said, race. Those are, and race is a stupid term anyways. Because we're all human.
That's why I hesitated to use it. Doesn't matter what you are. I feel that way too.
Doesn't matter all the things that you can't help what you are. Just
you're just human.
And everyone deserves the same treatment. So, and that's that. Religion is another thing because you just choose to be closed-minded and think certain things. But that's your choice.
Podcast.
If you want to do that, then go right ahead, right? But
yeah.
I'll choose not to, but
yeah.
So anyways, I don't know how this relates to anybody that might be listening in terms of if they need help in terms of, I need to get more respite. The only thing I could say is that, like with anything in marriage, is that you have to communicate with your partner.
Yep.
And if you feel like you need time to just get away for an hour a day or whatever, just because you might be dealing with a kid with special needs or whatever the case may be, then the other person's not going to know unless you tell them.
Yeah.
And then if they're not going to want to do it after, or they're constantly staying after work or going out, again, people I know, they go out, after work, they go to the bar after for a couple of hours and have drinks or whatever it is. And then, the other parent is at home with the kids. Like, then that person's just not a very good spouse, right?
Well,
consider.
But then, and I agree with that. And then I think the thing too that has always been difficult for me, and this is just who I am. I have a really hard time asking for help, and I let it get to a crisis point, and then I have a breakdown.
And it's too late.
So you have to put your.
But you don't do that anymore.
I don't do it anymore.
Come on, you're
I'm
almost 40 years old. Sorry. Ooh, I shouldn't say that. Well, you are. You're 37. Oh, you're acting surprised at how old you are. I'm just saying, right? Life is too short to worry about this kind of shit.
It is. But I guess it's just my personality, right? And some people have a harder time asking for help, but you just have to put that.
Well, just do it.
Pride or whatever it is on the shelf, and you have to ask for help.
Like I said, what's the life expectancy? 80 years old. It's like you're halfway dead. So
okay, I don't want to talk
at best.
That. I don't want to talk about it.
No, but it's true. You use that as
it's
like old people don't give a fuck. It's like, why would they? Say what's on your mind.
Of course.
Do what's on your mind.
But
not be a dick about it. I'm not saying that.
But you brought up a point
ask for help. Just ask for help.
But you brought up a point which is exactly.
I bring up lots of points.
You have all the points.
I have all the big points.
All the big points. That's so dirty.
Weird.
So dirty.
You went there. This is terrible.
2018.
The first podcast. You couldn't get through.
I always go
one
there.
Sexual innuendo point. Of course not.
Of course not.
Terrible.
No, it's bad. No, but I think that's kind of the biggest thing I had is you have to communicate with your partner and let them know before it gets to crisis.
We don't even need to have any more parenting podcasts or relationship stuff because it's just communicate. That's the answer to everything.
Talk to your partner.
Did you talk to your other partner?
Did you verbalize
It's I think this other guy, I think he might be talking to some other girl. I don't know what's going on. I'm looking at their phone. It's like, did you talk to them?
No.
Did you maybe try to work it out? And it's like, I can't do anything because my husband doesn't do this. Did you talk to him? I
know.
It's like, I can't help you if you guys don't talk to each other. You gotta talk.
It's true. So then the other thing I just wanted to go through really quick.
Did we even finish this whole self-care? I figured we didn't talk about it.
No, we did, but there's a couple just a couple more points I just want to hit.
But I just want to let you know that, as always, just to maybe reiterate that if you ever need to take time, let's just let me finish. If you ever need to take time and you want to go to the mall, you want to go buy a book, an online book, not brick and mortar because they're 34% more expensive.
Damn it.
You can go to Chapters and you can just buy it online on the phone and then read it on your Kindle because it's cheaper. Just do that. And just do it at Chapters with the Starbucks. It's the same thing.
I'm fine with that.
I love that. You go to Chapters, you just look at the books that you might want.
And they're
and then you just buy it on Amazon
cheaper.
because they're half off.
50%, yeah. Anyways.
And then you read it on. Anyways, so you didn't let me finish. I'm still talking. Old woman. So anytime you feel that you need to get away or that you want to get away or that you need some time, just let me know. I'm right here. And for me,
well, baby, it's the same for me. Whenever you want to play hockey, whenever you want to go.
I don't play hockey
anymore. But whenever you want to go, it's the same for me, right?
Can I go right now?
If you want to.
I kind of do.
Then go ahead. It's negative 40 outside. If you want to step outside in the negative 40 degree weather. I just wanted to go into the other room.
Just kind of sit there. Just maybe watch the old Star Wars that were good, not these new ones that are shit.
Okay. So I just wanted to hit a couple points about self-care because there's a couple different facets.
Of course there are.
Of self-care.
Of course there are.
And we don't have to take long because they're pretty basic. But people think of self-care as just maybe taking some time or they don't really know what to do. They have time. You don't really know what to do with your time, right? So There's a couple things.
Who are these people that have all this kind of time? They don't know what to do with.
I don't know. I'm
These
just
are parents?
saying. I don't.
I'm like, where's all this? What am I going to do with all this time? What am I going to do? Maybe sell it.
Sometimes you don't know.
Sell it like that movie. Remember that movie In Time with Justin Timberlake?
I never saw that with you.
Yeah, you did.
I remember maybe I fell asleep.
The whole premise is that they had the time on here.
Oh, yes, I saw that. Yeah.
You saw it.
Okay.
But like, you'd buy and sell time. It was amazing.
Okay, so I think kind of the first facet is like physical, and I think like taking care of your physical self is really important. So making sure you exercise and making sure you eat right. I think
I thought you were talking about the other physical self-care.
Well, that's important too.
It's very important.
It's very important
in a relationship. It's like the most important thing.
I agree with you.
As long as everyone's on the same page.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
If you both are like, I'm good with sex once a month, then great. But if you're good with sex, I gotta have it 5 times a day. Speaking theoretically for not me.
For a friend.
Then, for
a friend of mine, you're asking for a friend.
A friend of mine just has to have it 5 times a day.
But that's true too. That's true too.
So if you're connected with somebody that's the same.
That's true.
Like if just be consistent with each other and make sure that
but I guess even like you do like a 12 minutes of a hit, or do a yoga, or do something physical to like get those endorphins going.
Are we gonna start talking chemistry now? Endorphins?
No.
Okay.
And then eating well. Don't eat shit. It's super easy. Just don't eat shit.
Yeah, this is.
Anyways, but that's important.
Just to be fair here. You're like packing in some very complex things here. In like
I told you. I told you I was.
These are like textbooks. Textbooks need to be written on this, of what you just said in like these 2 lines.
Well, no, of course.
Just don't eat shit and release endorphins. It's like, yeah. But it's
of course,
more complex than that.
Of course, we don't have time to delve into that right now.
And we do have time. We have all the time.
Not right now, because I want to hit a couple other things first.
Well, you want to hit some more things. Do you want to hit it? H-I-T or H-I-I-T?
H-I-I-T, motherfucker.
That's terrible. I don't want to do that kind of hit. It's terrible.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
High intensity interval.
Yeah, I know what it stands for.
I'm like, what?
I'm not sure. There's some kind of innuendo in there, but we'll just
brush that aside. I'm not sure what it was, but
neither
so then the other thing is definitely like relationships and
relationship self-care.
Yeah, I like go have coffee with your friends. Go have coffee with your family. Like for me, going to have coffee with my sister lives here, I'm always like, oh, I don't want to leave the house. I don't want to go. But then I go and I have such a good conversation, and it's about something that's totally not kid related. And it's awesome. It's always awesome when I come back and I feel refreshed pretty much every time.
Well, that sounds like it's more of a thing that you just don't want to leave the house.
Yeah.
That's weird. That's different.
Sometimes I don't.
Not weird, but that's sometimes
a lot of
people don't like to leave the house too, right? Like
sometimes I'm just like, oh, I gotta put jeans on.
What's important in your life, right? That's where you have to think about.
Oh yeah, no,
what's
of course.
More? Do you want to just spend time with your stuff, or do you want to spend time with people?
But even like going to your mom's house, like it's wonderful. You're like, come over for supper, and I'm like, oh, I gotta leave my house.
No,
but it's just like, it's like, I want to go because I love your mom. Your mom's awesome.
Same thing too. It's like,
fun,
travel to wherever back when we were in Waterloo. It's like, go to this person's house, that person's house, an hour away, 2 hours away. It's like, but you go and you enjoy yourself.
And it's great. So that's it's an important thing, especially like when it's girlfriends, right? Like having like, even like now that we live far away, like making phone dates with my girls in Waterloo, because I don't get to see them. We make phone dates, and that time is like sacred.
So what is this again? This is basically your
relationships,
self-care about maintaining relationships.
Yeah, no, and it's important.
Yeah. Just have a couple. You really need just like 2-3 friends.
Oh yeah,
like
but I'm just saying to maintain it.
But if you're on Facebook, you need like 2,000 to let everybody know how cool you are.
But I'm just saying to like maintain it and like cultivate it, because it's really really important.
You only need a couple, like
and that's all I have.
There's only so many people in your life that you can maintain.
Yeah,
emotionally.
Yeah. So then the other
physically,
thing, Jesus.
There's only physically there's a lot of people.
So then I think what's really important is to really, it sounds really new agey and whatever, but it's really
I'm not sure what that means.
Really like reconnect with yourself, because I really feel as a parent and as a mom especially, you can lose your identity in just being a mom, and that's just your identity, which is okay. You are a mom, you are a parent, but you need to have something else outside of it. Like that's
what we talked about before.
My whole life is the kids.
But no, it's not.
It's everything. It's not. Well, that's the point, right? Is I am so many other things other than a mom. Mom is my favorite thing to be, but I have hobbies. I love to cross stitch. Running is my thing. I love it. I love running. I've like personal development. Like I've read like, I don't know how many Tony Robbins books on.
Well, you should diversify your author list.
Well, obviously, and like Tim Ferriss, because it's like personal development for how I want to grow as a person. And so, but I think that's really important is to grow in that way. And so take the time to invest in that.
It's what we talked about before, is that when you have kids, you can't forget who you are or who you were. Yeah. And you have to make sure, of course you got to be a mom. You got to take care of kids. Yeah. That doesn't mean you can't do the things that you loved.
Well, no,
or you can't even do the stuff with the kids or whatever. Like people
exactly.
Oh, I loved to travel before I had kids, and I had kids and I traveled with them. You find ways to make it work. And if you're going to be that type of person that's like, oh, I'm just going to drop everything because I have to be a mom and that's it. That's not a good recipe for a happy household at the end of the day, because you're gonna lose in that spark of, I don't know, happiness or joy that you get in life other than your kids, right? Like you're going to feel probably this empty void inside you of like, something's missing from my life, even though you have these beautiful children or whatever.
Well, no. And of course, missing. And the thing is, you have to temper that with kind of knowing where you are, because I mean, when you have an infant, you are mom. That is your entire identity at that moment. When you have an infant, you have to take care of that infant. That's really your only job and your only focus.
I don't agree with that. It's not. What do you, obviously, you have an infant, you suddenly you have a baby, you can't, if you're,
I don't know.
If you like rock climbing, you can't go rock climbing anymore, or
no, I'm not
you like
saying
exercise,
that.
you can't work out, you can't run anymore.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like it's very all encompassing.
Yeah, it becomes a big part of your life, but it cannot become your sole thing in life.
It's like
unless your goal was to become like a super mom, taking care of babies kind of person, which is fine. But the thing is, if you're like an Olympic athlete or whatever, you have a kid, still do your stuff.
Of course.
If you're a cross-stitcher / I love playing my Sudoku and I like playing guitar and you have a kid, you can't drop it off. So no, I still
okay.
In my opinion.
I'm just saying like you're going to have less time to pursue. Right?
I will say yes and no, because it depends on what your priorities are. A lot of people say they have less time to do things, but they also sit down and watch 3 hours of Netflix every day. Or if you add up all the time that they're on their cell phone every day, it adds up to like 2 hours. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You add up all these little things that you do in the day, and you're like, you could have lots of time if you didn't waste it on things that don't really matter.
Sure.
Anyway,
Sure. Just the only thing I'm going to say is when you breastfeed, it's a whole other animal.
Absolutely.
It is.
I'm not going to,
because
I've
you
never breastfed
before. You're basically, you're it. You have to be there.
When you were breastfeeding, it's not like you didn't do other things.
No, I did, but I was always on the clock. I was like, I gotta be back because I gotta feed this kid.
But then we also had the pump and all that stuff that we got bottles ready and that.
Anyways.
Well, we did, right?
Well, we did, but Tristan would never take them, and pumping is the most inconvenient thing on the planet. And I didn't even pump with Maya because I was like, I'll just take her with me where I go.
Sure.
Because I knew how horrible it was.
That's fine, but like you just said it, take her with me wherever I go. So you make sure that, you know what, I'm going to do this stuff. I'm still going to do my this.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
It's just a baby.
Well, yeah.
Like you said,
They're
like we said,
portable.
little babies, little problems.
They're portable, and that's what
is
you.
it really that
and,
big of a deal?
Well,
It's
no,
like,
and that's what you learn with like the second one. The first one's always the hardest, but yeah, the second one is like.
I'm not knocking.
I know.
Parenting and stuff, because again, we're talking about this from the mother's perspective, but there's fathers too.
Oh
right?
yeah,
There's,
no, of course.
the fathers are there just as much as the mothers.
Of course,
of
course.
It's hard on everybody.
It is. It's it's rough.
But when you're breastfeeding, it's obviously just more on the women, because you get to the point where the baby's waking up like 2, 3, 4 times a night or whatever because you're hungry. Well, like what, 8, 7? Like it's like once every hour. Like how long is your night?
6. It's every 2 hours.
So it's 12 hours nights then, every 2 hours.
They're up every 2 hours. Then you feed them, and they feed for like a half an hour.
Anyways,
you change the diaper, and you really get like
my point
half
being,
hour sleep.
My point being is that as a father in that situation, it's like
you can't do anything.
You try to wake up and be like, oh, what can I do to help? It's like you're just latching on the baby to feed anyways, and it's like, oh well, you know what?
No, you can't.
I'm just gonna sleep anyways, because it's like someone might as well get a good night's sleep. So that someone can be awake with the kids.
But then the whole point is like, because I knew you had to get to work. I mean, we're talking about like division of labor, because I knew you had to go to work the next day. I wouldn't. That's your job, right?
No, but there was nothing. But my point,
there also is nothing when you're breastfeeding. There also is nothing you can do. You could change the diaper, but I'm up anyways.
Yeah,
so
I remember hearing this from one of the professors that I used to play hockey with, and he's like, "Oh yeah, when you have kids or whatever, one of the things you realize as the man is just like you want to wake up and help, but then you quickly realize that there's nothing you can do. So it's like, might as well just sleep the whole night, get a good 8 hours rest.
No, so you can deal with the crazy in the morning.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's a professor, so I'm sure he had to work, but yeah, it's just like that's the reality of it. It's like if you're breastfeeding,
it's true.
Like, if
there's
you're not,
nothing you can do. Yeah.
But that's I mean, the lack of sleep sucks, but it's like it's not that bad. Once you've gone through it. But if we had to do it again, I'd be like, this is the worst thing in the world. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe give me a kid that's having heroin, crack cocaine issues.
We also,
that's easier
but the thing is like
baby.
We also had like really bad sleepers. Like our kids did not sleep through the night until they were. Well, Maya was 2. She didn't sleep through the night until she was 2.
We're not going to talk about how I had to cut in and tell you to stop with your nonsense, because second someone would cry, you'd like whip out the titty, suck on this. I'm like, dude, this has got to stop. That's what I said. I'm like, no. And I remember that specifically.
I remember
because it was 2 nights.
I know.
Of quite pain, where
for everyone.
Yeah,
like physical pain for me.
Okay, well, whatever. But physical pain. I'm gonna talk about physical pain.
Okay, the boobs, man.
Oh, come on, don't give me that crap. So, but the whole thing is, I was like, okay, well, this is not gonna happen anymore. So then she'd cry. Was it Maya or was it Tristan?
It was Maya. Anyways, it was Maya. Tristan was easy. Maya
so
was
cry,
Maya.
and I'd like pick her up, put her back to bed. She'd cry like 2 nights of like basically not crying, and then she's like, oh, you know what, if I cry I'm just not gonna get the tit, so I guess I'm gonna fall asleep. Then no problems after that. So
I know
that was just like, yeah, you know what, you can't just
I know
your tits, I'm sorry, as beautiful as your tits are, they can't solve every problem. Okay,
World peace, what?
They solve most problems. Okay. World peace? Okay. I don't know about that.
Okay.
You have to have some, like, you have to combine the tits with like other things.
Okay.
Like multiple people.
Okay.
It's gotta be a group effort to solve world peace. Is what I'm saying.
All right.
We all got to come together.
So I think we're done.
Are we? I don't know. This is your show. I'm just here.
I think we've covered everything I wanted to cover.
20 minutes ago, I just wanted to sit on the couch and just do nothing. So
I know. So I think we covered everything with self-care. Just take care of yourself. Done.
Why are we talking for like 50 minutes when we could have just summed it up in one word? We didn't even have the podcast. We just take care of yourself. What's wrong with you? Just make time for you. But if you're in a relationship, or if you're in somebody, you're with somebody, living with somebody, whatever the situation may be, or you're in a divorce relationship where you got the kid going back and forth, just make sure that you're in constant communication with the other person, the partner, whatever it may be, that if there's something that's on your mind or something that's bothering you or something that you need to get out in terms of like, I need time for me to just decompress for whatever reason or situation, just communicate it and then take that time, because the worst thing that can happen is that it just builds and builds and builds and the other party doesn't know or whatever, and then it just explodes, and then I was like, what just happened? Where did this come from? Like, right? Well,
and not only that, you can't be a good mom if your battery's burnt out. You can't
be good at anything if your battery.
No, you can't.
As far as I know, dead batteries are useless in my video game controllers. So.
Yep, and that's how you feel as a mom when you're burnt out. So. As
like anything, I'm a dad too, right? You're burnt out from work, burnt out from home.
Yep. You need to take some time. That's important.
You can't just go to the bottle. The bottle doesn't solve all problems.
It doesn't?
No, it does.
Damn it.
Just go to the bottle. Everything will be just fine. And if that doesn't work...
Marijuana's legal?
No, not yet.
Is it?
I was just going to say marijuana. I said if the bottle doesn't work, you got to go to the needle. You got to get it.
Oh, Jesus.
Go straight to the source.
That's hardcore, man.
I
don't think we should be encouraging that.
I'm not. I'm just saying. Just do it. Hey,
Right.
Is it worse than caffeine? I don't know. Yeah, it probably is actually.
Yeah.
But caffeine's still pretty bad. And nicotine. Nicotine's very, very bad for you.
Okay. So this is well known.
Is it?
It is.
Is it? Why is it still legal? And why is nicotine is more addictive than so many other things that they get.
This is a whole other podcast.
All right. And we're back to a brand new podcast. Where today we're going to talk about nicotine and the crazy effects it has on the human metabolism.
Okay.
Yes. So.
Crisp high five?
Fine.
That was a good one.
Yeah, you actually hit my hand.
Shut up.
That's good.
Shut up.
You ask for a crisp high five and then you just immediately proceed to insult me. That's fine. That's how it is.
That's how it rolls. All right.
Apparently so.
We're good?
Oh my goodness. You're like staring me down right now. What is up with that? Like, am I in big trouble?
We have to figure out a way to end it.
No, we don't. I don't want to figure out anything. I don't have plans.
All right.
It's just, listen, if you're listening to this show, are you still listening? What are you doing? Seriously. It's been like 57 and a half minutes.
What?
Like, just need to just go to bed or something. Go read a book, because it's seriously more educational than this.
Probably.
So, no, we don't need to figure out anything.
All right.
We'll just do what we do.
We'll just be done?
This is us.
Okay.
Right? We're just done?
We're done.
Fine.
Fine.
You can be done?
I'm done.
Fine.
Done.
So, thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.
And we'll see you next week.
Mic drop.
What mic drop? Why? You just got a microphone right in front of you and you're like making...
Oh, can I drop it on the floor?
Yeah, go ahead. See what happens if you drop that microphone on the floor. Actually, that's an old microphone. That's like vintage. Joe Meek. Oh, they don't even make those anymore.
Okay.
Vintage.
Okay, now we're done.
All right. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. We'll see you next week.
I guess it's kind of old for that or late for that.
No, it's still cool.
We'll throw them around in June still. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, motherfuckers. That's still cool.
Might as well.
Anyways.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.